Hi YouTube and welcome to our Twitch game rating. Today we're gonna rate my Twitch favorite video games of all time. We got 26 games to rate. Even I might not know them all, I will try to give them the place they deserve. So we should not waste any more time. So like it if you like it, dislike if you dislike, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's go. So we hop into the next scene. I might cut this out. Ooh. It does. So we have plenty of games here. And we start out with Subnautica. Subnautica is a really light game by my girlfriend actually. She suggested we should put this in. And I say the controls in this, like I have a certain scheme with control, graphics, sound, story, repeatability, and we to also consider my personal take on the game. So the controls and the gameplay, it's a biased rating, yes. We have I think the survival genre also always had a good concept and overall. I think I really like the game is mostly below the waters. And for this, the controls are very good. The graphics for an indie title are good, but not like over the top. Also the sound, I mean, it can really catch you really into it really gets you into it when you're like in a dark cave and suddenly like creepy music starts playing, which I really like. Also the story isn't that great for the game because it got implemented ways later than it was released. So I think they just put a story in there to have something to play for. Also the repeatability, I'd say it's okay, but most likely the story, once you're done, you wouldn't play it again except you'd do some base building. Also, my personal take on this game is it's great. I would say no, we're not ending. We're just starting here. We rate Subnautica a solid B, I'd say. It's a very good game, but it's not too crazy. So let's hop to the next game, and it's Horizon Zero Dawn. This was suggested by Mr. Michi, as well as Assassin's Creed. I just took it in anyways, so the controlling gameplay is very good, I guess. I mean, is it a AAA game, I assume? I like that mix between like dinosaurs and robotic dinosaurs, and the overall time scheme. It's like very unique. It has really good graphics. The sound, I'd say, for AAA games is very basic. And the story is okay. The newer titles are a bit lacking. I mean, it got released between like the biggest games of all time, like Elden Ring and the new God of War. So it might fell a bit short. But as for all like AAA titles, they're not as much to have like this replayability now. If you're once done, there's not much to do. But overall, the graphics is good and I like the concept very much. So we're gonna put it on a solid A, I'd say. And the graphics is cool, the concept is cool. I haven't played it yet, but we might gonna go and play it in the future. Which brings us to our next game, which is Stardew Valley, which is completely different to everything we had before now. I mean, the controlling gameplay, it's very basic. You have a top-down view and a farming simulator, I'd say, kinda, and have these villagers. Oh my gosh. Hey Raiders, we have to stay for a while and listen. Hey Raiders, we're currently doing a game rating. So we kind of continued. So where did we stop? The gameplay is very basic and the graphics are like pixelated, but like on a good way. It's not bad graphics, but I'd say not over the top. The sound is really cool. Like every place you visit is around, like they have good music for every place you visit. The story, I think there's not much of a story, but I think it's one of those games that don't need a story. Repeatability, I'd say, is really good instead of the other games, because you can play with friends and you can build different type of farms. You have mods, so it's really, really amazing in this kind of regard. We're doing Stardew Valley at the moment. My personal take on the game, it is a really good game. I like the concept, and it definitely eats time, like very fast. Like we've been playing this for a few amount of times, and it always was fun. And it's like one of those games you can chill with your friends and don't have a hard time. So I say I would put it straight on an A, just above Subnautica, maybe behind Horizon. Yeah, we're gonna go like that. The next thing is a really huge entry, and it's like a bit old these days, but I've never seen so much loot, and I love loot. You know me, I love going for games that have plenty of loots. The bosses are cool, the story is janky, the graphics are very unique, cel-shading graphics. The sounds of the guns are amazing because you have so many different sounds. And the repeatability of this game is also insane. You can like hop in solo, you can hop in with friends, you can go and grind over and over again until you find the weapon that you want to have. So I would say this is a straight up new top of the A. Should we say even S tier? Who does you know? I don't know exactly. We go and put it on a high A. I've burned much time into this. Like, it is very, very good. But like, maybe not like perfect. There's games that are better, I assume. Which brings us to the new Hogwarts Legacy. There's like much going on around this game at these times. But we ignore just that and just usually go, how's the controls and the gameplay? Like the controls are very good. Like, of course, it's AAA title and you have your stuff. The gameplay is like, you have plenty of things. Like if I would be a Potterhead, I would like Harry Potter. This would fill in or like teach me so much new stuff about the universe. I think it's like very, very interesting. The graphics are just bonkers. The game is insanely good looking and the sounds are also like very well done. The story about old magic is might the right take on this game because you can't like hurt someone. So I'd say this... Oh my gosh, my neighbors. Please stop. Okay, anyways, just keep going. The repeatability is very high actually, because you can like go and change the houses. Like you can play as Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, or Hufflepuff. And it might change every gameplay. I haven't done it, but I think. So in my personal opinion, I'd say this is definitely S tier, because it's like very, very good. Which brings us to, I would say this is also my entrance. My entrance, I definitely would have chosen Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X is one of, if not the best entrance in the series. It was a huge part of my childhood, and the sounds are amazing. The gameplay is might a bit old and gets repetitive very fast, because you have these old strategic fight systems. But this does not bother me too much. But I would like give a minus point for this one because it's not up to date anymore. Also the story is like one of the only working love stories I've ever seen in video games that worked for me. And the ending just like is one of the games that actually got me crying because the ending is so bad. Like holy shit. This touched my feelings very hard, and I'd say just for this I've got hooked to this game since I'm 14. Don't know the date when it came out, but for me it's a straight S tier. But it's an amazing game and it deserves a place just up there. Which brings us to our first Pokemon game in this list. Oh my god. Pokemon is a huge topic and you might mesh up here and there, we don't know. But we went for the I got asked especially for the Crystal Edition. So we do not consider newer titles into this because it's like we can compare it a little bit, but at the time it came out, it was very unique and had like best mix between two games that I've seen so far. The controls and gameplay are very basic for Pokemon. Everyone should know it nowadays, but if you don't know, it's round-based fights and you have also plenty of stuff to collect in the game. You can like do shiny hunting in Crystal. The graphics are very old, but still like for Pokemon up to date, I'd say. The sounds are not as good, in my opinion. For real, Crystal was lacking like a good soundtrack that like got stuck in people's head. But it had like other strengths. The story was very good for a Pokemon game. I mean, you go and do your stuff, of course, but there was also this very, very unique take. You get introduced to the 3 legendary hounds and gotta catch one of them, which made it very cool. Also, my final, like my personal take on this game would be, it was banger at its time. I never had it my own, but my cousin had it and we've been playing it a lot. I would put it... Where would he put it? It's hard. It would not be fair to say it would be an A, just because of the many things it's lacking, but also it had like strengths at its time. I would say it's straight up a B tier. No Bioshock on there, blasphemy. You just like next time we're gonna do some more ratings in the future, so just stay tuned for this, and I'm gonna ask on my Discord. It's in high A. Like, yes, Pokemon in general would be A or S, but especially just Crystal, like if you're considering just Crystal, it would be just a B, I guess. Because it's not as good as the newer titles, but it was great for its time. So like B is still a good game, but it's not like very good, and neither it's like insane. Which brings us to Ark. Ark Survival Evolved. Yes. So Ark does look good. Like this is one of the games I haven't played myself. I've just seen it a little bit. Also, the graphics are very okay-ish. I'm not mistaken. Let me really quickly look into it. I like that there's like a survival game with dinosaurs, but you actually can craft guns. I think this should be the right game. Base building and the things you can do with your friends is very cool. Like this game has a lot of repeatability, but only if you play with friends. I don't know about the story. The game features a story. I could imagine it be cool, but I cannot put a take on this. But overall, I would say Ark is a very successful game and many people like it. But it might got some flaws compared to other survival titles. So I would put it on par with Subnautica because it's like kind of the same. You know, you have Subnautica living under the water and surviving. There you have like dinosaurs and surviving. So it's unique, but I'd say it's okay-ish. It's a good game. I've been watching it and yeah, I think B is like a fair. If you compare it to Subnautica, it's very fair to put it on B. But now we come to a very, very big thing. Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is a action RPG. Blizzard back in the day, which was insane. I've been playing Diablo 2 for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and I have never had such a very well made loot pool. Like the runic system, like there's runes you can build, special rune words and special set of armors that do, like, there's so insane many unique ways you can play this game. It lets every newish title look old, for real. It's like still one of the most polished games I've ever seen. It just got a remastered version, which brings the graphics back to an actual good date, I'd say, but it's not overwhelming graphics. The sounds, like, oh my god. Like the first time you enter Tristram and you hear like this guitar, or I don't know what exactly it is playing, this gives you goosebumps. The story as well about the 3 big evils are bonkers. Like the story was really, really well done, and I like to follow it over and over again. So this is definitely a huge plus. Repeatability is insane. You can go over and over again. I know people that are playing these games for 10 years and more, and they still keep going. So I would say, in my opinion, this is a straight S tier, like for real. Wait, let me quickly fix something. Wait. Okay, we are back. So, which brings us to maybe a controversy pick. It's Minecraft. Minecraft is still one of the biggest entries of all time. It changed so much in the scene. Like, can you imagine that one game had like this much of an impact on the entire gaming scene? It's hard though. Like the gameplay, what is the gameplay, you know? Like Minecraft is everything. Like if you want Minecraft to be any other game in this world, you can be, like it can be. Can be happen. So the sound, Minecraft actually features some really, really cool overworld themes, and even people like played it on the piano. So the sound is not too bad. It's like actually really, really good. But as for the story is like really bad. Like in my opinion, there is no story. There's just like this world filled with stuff, but it's not a real story. Like you do not have a beginning and ending. So I'd say it has no story at all. Also, the repeatability of this game is like crazy. Like since this can be everything, you can play like all the time, like literally every day. You can play with friends, you can play on online servers, you can play solo. You can do whatever you want. And this like this game is just limited by your own creativity, which makes it really, really good. And in my opinion, even if I don't play it anymore, this serves an S tier. Like it's an insane game. Which nothing tops it for you. Well, we now come to Monster Hunter. it was asked specifically like for every Monster Hunter. So the gameplay is very cool. Like the gameplay is chasing big ass monsters with big ass guns. No, like not guns, but swords. There are even guns, I imagine. It's just like insane. It's very cool, and you collect their body parts to build new armor to take on even bigger monsters, which makes it a really great game. Also, the graphics are in the newer entries are okayish. They're not over the top, I'd say, but they are very good. Like to this day, I'd say it's very playable. With also the sound, I think it lacks a bit of sound. I mean, I don't remember any big track. Let me think of it. No, I don't remember any big track coming from a Monster Hunter game. Maybe it is very good, but just for the game itself. Also, it might lack a story. I mean, it's more about it's just like monster hunting, right? Oh no, they're drilling again. Would you please? Thank you. I think the story is not too big, but the repeatability is very big. Like, I think if you are like the point till you're done with the game is like very late-ish. So I would say Monster Hunter at least have the highest B tier. I'd say it's not as good as some other games on the entry list. Like it's a good game, but not very good in my opinion. And now we come to something I'm really looking forward to. It's like Nier Automata or Nier Replicant. The Nier series are very good games. I try to avoid spoilers since they've got released. And I really wait to the point I can play them in Japanese and totally understand them, which will take years from now on, but I'm still very excited. The gameplay looks so cool, and the story is also very cool. Like, there's like these machines and stuff like all around it. It looks very good. It's not just boobers. They're not just boobas, right? And also, like, it's a very good looking game. Even if they're like a few years old by now. But it's like still a very good looking game. I also heard there are like very many different endings, which make the repeatability very good. Also the sound, I remember 2 songs that are really good in this case. But is it an S tier worthy? I would say no from now on, because like I haven't played them yet, but we're gonna play them in the future and we might change this. But for now, I'd say it's a straight A tier. Which brings us to Mass Effect. Again, we rated Mass Effect today. We're gonna do it again. So the gameplay is very cool. It's a third-person shooter and the story elements are very good. It's like 3 games long, so the story is definitely a huge plus in this game. But also depending for like the reason, because it's so long, it does not have much of repeatability. Also, many people complained about the ending. Like all the choices you made in the game did not change the ending too much, which is in my opinion a very much missed opportunity. Also, the sound of this game, I'd say, is okayish. Didn't know. But I'd say it's an A. It's a straight A. The game is very good. The story is very good. The mechanics are very good. So we put it into an A tier, I'd say. It's on par with those we put here. So I guess we should be fine. Which brings us to Hunt. We can rate the ending C. We put if it was has like an ending, it would be definitely a C. Like if you just go for the ending, it most likely would be a C. It brings us to Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown I've dumped in 500 hours. It's one of the uniquest playing Battle Royale slash King of the Hill type-ish games in a dark western scenery, which makes it a really cool game. The graphics and the are insanely good. Like it's a very good look game. Not gonna lie, the sounds are over the top because like this game is all based on the sounds. Like if you wanna play this game, you better get prepared to listen to everything, otherwise you're getting shot. Which brings me to the controls. The controls are a bit janky. It feels very slow. The game is in general a very slow game, which I was never appreciating too much. This was always like the big thing. Also the lack of a solo hunting mode. You have quick play, but I would say it's a very good game. Last time I've rated it as it was a S tier last time, but now considering it for the current situation the game is in, I'd say it's an A. It's like the very best A tier. I'd say it's a B. Okay, let's take this in consideration. I mean, it's very good, you're right. You might put it in the lowest A tier. Because like it's still very good and I really love it and the design is very unique. But wait, yeah, I mean you're there to do it, but it's... Yeah, I'd say it's like low A. Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed's always had like good stories. Like the first 3 entries in this game were amazing. Controls always were like really good and I liked the climbing and exploration. The Italy scenery was the best thing for me. Like I really loved the mysteries that was around like this assassination guys going on, and then you have, but actually you're in the real time, just like digging into your brain for your past entries. This was like amazing, but nowadays it got really messed up. Like the open world didn't suit the game too much for me, so I've went away from it, which makes it a... So I'd say like the first 3 entries are definitely an A, but since the new games are really like lacking these times, I'd say it's just a C for me. Because it got weak. Assassin's Creed like lost its identity, which is kind of sad. But it can't be helped. Like maybe they go back to their original things, and I really hope they go back to the assassin thing. Like, they lost their identity, and as far as it is like this, I'd say they are straight up just a C tier for me. Also Witcher. Witcher is the same thing as Mass Effect, just in a different world kinda. You have like 3 games and the story evolves around like all these 3 games till it comes to a climax. It's a very long game, it has amazing gameplay and very well done graphics. The sounds are very good and the story is much fun. Like I've watched plenty of hours into Witcher, not Hunt. And I'd say, like, we just go quick and say this one for me is straight up an A. Comparable to Mass Effect. Now again, Final Fantasy. But this time it's like Shadowbringers. Final Fantasy 14, I guess. Or 15. But it's online. So I always had my complaints in features, good controls and gameplay. But what really is bugging me out, it's like Final Fantasy never was an online title for me to begin with. The strengths in Final Fantasy always were a good story, which it has kinda, but it is lacking. Like it can't get immersed the same way like I can in Final Fantasy X, for example, because there's like other players and like the immersion is not as good as it was. I mean, the sounds, there's no complaint. Like the sounds in this game, there's so many good titles in this game. The sound is really good. Like for real, the sound is really good. The repeatability, I'd say, I see this trend where people just come back to finish a DLC and leave, which is not good of a game design in my opinion. So would I say that this is repeatability? Guess no. So I still would account it for a B tier in this case. Which brings us to Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk had a really, really bad start. The gameplay is really cool. The ideas it has is really amazing. The graphics, there's nothing compared to it still, I guess. The ray tracing graphics in this game are looking insane. Like I've rarely seen any game this good looking. Also the sounds are amazing. Like there's so much good, in it. Also the anime has one of the most famous songs ever, but you can take like the anime in this. Repeatability, the mod support makes it really replayable a bit. Like you can play it over and over again and do like fiddle around with mods. So I think this one is really, really good. Since I really like the art style and the world and all it's about, I'd say it's an S tier. It's a low S tier, but it's amazing. Like I'm sure it's one of the biggest entries in this list. Which brings us to the last few games. We were speedrunning through this. Holy shit. But we're a bit speedrunning. We have one of, if not the fastest shooters out here, Apex. Apex Legends is a very, very polished game. The gameplay and controls are insanely good. I've never seen a game playing this crisp. Like it's fast. The gameplay, the guns feel cool. The graphics is well done. The sounds are amazing. It has no story. But now is the big problem. The big problem is I've never seen a season which has no bugs. There's always something, like some providers can't even play this game. Also there's like clipping and like guns are not working the way are intended, and which is like really a game breaking thing. It's like the big deal breaker for me. Also there is no solo battle royale mode, which is also bugging me out. Like one of the biggest problem games nowadays have is like there is no solo playing mode. I really play solos a lot since I like that, like me versus the world. I really love this, but Apex does not have this. So you have to hop into randoms or do like invite your friends, which is also kind of deal breaker for me. So which makes it on par with Hunt. It's kind of similar, but just it might have better controls and maybe it's a better overall concept, but it's still lacking. If this game would be polished and everything would work the way it is intended, it would be S tier, no doubt about it. But the moment, or like overall, they don't get their stuff fixed, which is sad, which put it just in a very low A tier for me. Now we have a game I have actually genuinely no clue about. So we're gonna try to rate it as good as possible. I've played Ratchet and Clank very, 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 very many years ago on the PlayStation Portable. It is a very good game series. Like, I enjoyed the game I was playing. So if the controls and the gameplay are kind of similar, I mean, I watched this game, I've seen it on YouTube. It is very good. Since it's got, like, back in time, I think got released on PlayStation 5, which in general has like 60 frames per second or even more now. The graphics are really good. The graphics are really good. The sound is okay-ish, I guess. I don't remember any track of this game popping in my ear because I actually listened to plenty of in-game sounds. The story is, well, I can't say much about the story, but I think it's very good. It got like it developed over the time. Repeatability, I can't say much about this, but overall I would say it's a very good B tier game. I guess you can spend time on it, but I'd say it's not this much of, like, it's not very good. GTA San Andreas. Oh my gosh, I also spent insane amounts of time with this. I had much fun. It was like really a new game at the time it got released. The world was big. Like, I've never felt like a gangster in this game. It has one of the best memes of all time. The gameplay overall was like very good. Like, you could change your appearance depending on how you eat or if you do sports a lot. Also, the gang mechanics were really cool. Also, you could do like mini games and stuff. On the PC version, you even had a multiplayer. But nowadays the graphics are okay. You notice this got released under like the PlayStation 2 era. The story, I mean, it is nostalgica, yes, but the story, I'd say, like, there were many other games that had a better stories, like this general, like, you get betrayed story, which was not much of a banger for me. But the replayability of this game was very good because you could like just hop into this game and just do like waste hours on doing stupid stuff and trying yourself out, which makes it a good game, but not like insanely good. I mean, nostalgica does not like save you from being just average. Now we have Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6, I've seen the, like, the, we're considering like the Street Fighter 5 gameplays into this, but Street Fighter is always fun. Like, the gameplay is really good, and I think the Street Fighter 6 gameplay got even polished more. Also, it like tries to like bring new people into the game, so it got easier, I guess, in some ways. The graphics, the graffiti style, I like it really much. Like the new like graphic way, like the graphics they changed were like amazing. Also, the new character looks are very unique. Like, they're parting more now from each other, which I really appreciate. The sounds are always like, in beat 'em ups you have always good sounds. Like, the stages are like amazing. It's the Unreal 5 engine, amazing. Like, but I don't know any beat 'em up that has like bad sounds. Like, sounds are in these games are very important. So the story, on the other hand, is like, I mean, you can say it now, but on beat 'em ups, most of the time the stories are whack, because like, it's like beating your friends up, right? Which makes it a good repeatability. Like, you can just go and hop Like can you have your friends over and just start your console and start like clashing, and everyone can easily join in because like it's not that hard to understand. But as for now, since we cannot say if the story will be a banger, I would say it's a very good game. Because it's like very easy to play and I really enjoy beat 'em ups, even though I don't play them too much. I think like beat 'em ups in general are a very cool concept and very most likely underlooked. This brings us to the like one of the older entries, especially it got asked for like Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. Okay. The controls on this old titles of Resident Evil were awful. Like if you're not used to playing the PlayStation 1, it was like, this is like, it's janky and slow, and sometimes your character doesn't do what you want to do. Nowadays the graphics are hard to look at. It's still a good game though. The sounds are very amazing. The zombies sound terrifying. I don't even know if like the PlayStation 1 had Mr. X, but I think so. But on the PlayStation 1, the story is the same as the remake. In a little bit different way. It's really good. Like the story on Resident Evil 2 is still very, very good because like it's really creepy and it's not like an action Resident Evil like it became like in 3, 4, 5 and so on and so on. Which I really liked. The repeatability, I mean, you can play as Chris, as Claire, and you have a second scenario. Like, if I had to mention one thing the PlayStation 1 did very, very well, is like to like make repeatability games. Like the old games, you can play them over and over again. I mean, they had no online mode. They had to come with something up that keeps you hooked to the game, which makes it great for like playing it over and over again. Which I'd say it's a good game, but it suffers the same stuff that Pokemon Crystal does. It was amazing for its time. The remake, you could not say outclass it, but it's on par definitely. And I'd say it's definitely somewhere here. I mean, it's been ages since I've played this, because I was very young. The same consequences like suffers Tomb Raider 2. Tomb Raider 2 has, like, boobas are triangle shaped, so you could not say that's especially like the graphics everyone wants to see. But the controls are actually good if you can get used to it, which is always a big thing. You can play the PlayStation 1 good, it's a great game, but if you're not used to it, it's like very janky. The sounds are very good, like it has some distortions here and there, but it's fine. The story is one of the biggest pluses Tomb Raider ever had. Like the stories of the older games were very good and very like interesting, but I've just seen it again a few weeks ago. It has some major flaws. When you get suddenly spawned in a very creepy, unexplaining world, which was kind of deal breaker for me. It was like really weird. Like this was like a big minus for me. So I'd say it's kind of like Resident Evil, but this one is hard to rank. I'd say it's a low B tier. Yeah, kind of low B tier. Now we come to Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII was an amazing entity. We have many Final Fantasy titles here, but Final Fantasy VIII was really good. but compared to the others on the list, especially like Final Fantasy X is newer. Okay, but it was weaker than Final Fantasy VII, I'd say, and 6. Also the 9, so it's definitely not as good as these. Also, they like drastically changed the way the magic system worked, and I never liked this that much. Also, Squall was a very uninteresting hero. Like I haven't had much fun like watching Squall and his friends develop. I mean, it also has the weakest sounds all the Final Fantasies I've played it a couple of times and I can't remember a song. Repeatability of this game, on the other hand, is also not that great because I mean it's still a very long game, and I mean in the main game you have to do some serious grinding to get like everything out of it. For me, it was like always the black sheep of Final Fantasy, kinda. So in my opinion, I would actually put it onto a C tier, like maybe, yeah, like just see like Assassin's Creed. It is Final Fantasy, but it's not as well done as the other ones. Like I like more like Final Fantasy 7, 6, and 9, and 10. I think like they are much like if I would put them against each other, it would definitely take the last place. It brings us to the very last game today. It's a very short one for me, but it's the main game of my girlfriend. She plays Rocket League a lot, and I'm not much of a soccer guy. Also, I'm not much of a car guy, which is very self-speaking. But we try to be a bit objective here. The controls are fun, and the gameplay is insane. Like the idea of like having flying cars, like playing soccer, is cool to watch. That's sure though. It never like was my banger. The graphics are okay. The sounds, I think they just borrowed their soundtracks from Mad Catz. If I'm not mistaken. Mad Catz makes really good music, so the sound is very well. It has no story. The repeatability, of course, is like you play it over and over again. Like it's like soccer. You go and do it over and over and over and over again, which is very good. But on my personal take, I just would put it into a D tier. It's like just not my game. Like I cannot enjoy it as much. I mean, it's just not the bringer. Which rounds up this whole tier list, which features a lot of S and A tiers as well, B tiers. And I wonder if you agree with this. What would you change? Maybe let me down. You wanna? I messed up. You wanna let me down? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.